Has been a good year for you, though.
It has been, I feel like we've been doing pretty well here.
Yeah.
So this has been a really good experience. And outside of here, yeah, man, so everything up.
Yeah.
And not seeing
beer
me.
things.
Man,
Beer
it's been really good. How about you?
Good. It's been a good year so far. Hard-working year, a lot busier than I expected it to be. But yeah, it's a good year. And so a special good morning to our Sunrise community. And we've been teasing it for quite a while, especially since last week, that we have something special coming for you. And so make sure to keep watching and paying special attention every day this week, because every day you're going to see a clue pop up with a special word. And on Friday, we'll be calling 2 lucky sunrisers to see if you are able to string together these clues into a full phrase. And if you get it correct, well, then $25,000 in cash will be yours. But you must be a part of the Sunrisers community. So go to our social media pages. Click the link in our bio now. If you're not on social media, they're going to have to send us a WhatsApp message at 876-833-0897. That's 876-833-0897.
I saw the one for yesterday. There was a word that flashed up yesterday. I don't know. Did you get it? Did you catch it? Did you catch it? It was there. It was there for sure.
So all you have to do is collect all the words and then string them together.
And then when you get the 25,000, you call me, and then you deposit it into my account.
Oh Lord, girl TK to put on her news hat. Yeah,
it's news hat time. Let's jump into the headlines.
Yeah.
All right. So missing money is what we're starting with this morning. So controversy now looms over the Excelsior Community College on Mountain View Avenue in Kingston, following allegations that over $9 million is missing from the school's bank account.
All right, that gentleman that we punched up in the B-roll, for the record, it's B-roll, and I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure if that's a principal. Is that the principal?
I wasn't looking at the screen. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I'm not sure who was punched up.
But for the record, I mean, it's something that. I mean, good going with in terms of journalism and unearthing the story. Well, I would say that, let a proper investigation be done. You can't force people to want to litigate matters in the public domain. So what I would hope is that a proper audit is done so that we can know and trace the funds and identify what has become of them.
And there's been a lot of discussion, Dennis, lately, especially of funding for, especially secondary schools, high schools, and how sometimes, and community colleges, and how sometimes greatly underfunded they are. So I'm hoping that whatever money is lost, misplaced, whatever,
not yet accounted for.
Not yet accounted for.
Not yet accounted for, could be.
Is found and, allocated in the way that it is supposed to be.
Melody. Mindset Conference 2024, the Gospel Edition, Monday to Wednesday, May 20 to 22, at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel with Pastor John Gray, Pastor Travis Green, Dr. Jackie Green, Todd Galbert, Phil Thomas, Minister Marion Hall, Kevin Dowswell, Sharon Gardner, Rhoda Isabella, Pastor Junior Tucker, Bishop Everton Thomas, and many more. Join us for dinner, workshop, panel discussions, praise and worship, undiluted word, and concerts every night. Mindset Conference. For more info, mindsetconference.org. Get your tickets now.
Welcome to my corner office.
To your what?
Corner office.
So you were actually
a welder?
No, you live from welding iron to know you're well wig.
My grandfather, he would come to me and say to me, little girl, come out of the mirror. How much time if you tell us and we come out on the stage?
Wig wasn't the thing. Your granny have one wig. You know them, the church wig, the little old stable wig. That time, this industry has evolved. The dolls them in a wig, the Miss Kitties them in a wig, the celebrities overseas in a wig, everybody in a wig.
Welcome back to Sunrise. If you're just joining us, you're in time for your Tuesday morning checkup. Today, it's all about hypertension or high blood pressure, and we'll be learning about the causes, the symptoms, the prevention tips with CEO, founder of Comfy Home Medical Services. I like that name there, see? Dr. Kirk Jones. Welcome to Sunrise, Dr.
Morning,
Jones.
Doc.
Morning, how are you doing? Thank you.
All is well.
Or I should say welcome back to Sunrise.
Yeah.
It's always good to be here.
It's always good to have you.
Last time you were here, you actually checked my blood pressure.
Was it high?
It wasn't.
Oh, look at you.
Right.
And speaking of that, so we're always hearing about hypertension, high blood pressure. It's something that I think afflicts so many Jamaicans.
Yeah.
What constitutes a high blood pressure reading?
All right, so firstly we have to talk about, understanding what hypertension is. Hypertension.
But first of all, what is blood pressure?
Is blood pressure?
What is your blood pressure? What's going on with that?
Right, so your blood pressure is basically just two numbers. So one at the top, one at the bottom. One at the top represents what we call systolic function. Systolic means the pressure at which the heart has to pump blood to the entirety of your body. Now the diastolic, which is the number at the bottom, represents the pressure at which the heart relaxes and collects blood. Right? So all of us has this functioning of the heart, and the blood pressure gives us an indication as to how well the heart is functioning. Right? So what we call a normal blood pressure is we say anywhere around 120/80. When we do get concerned, of course, is when it is now at 140/90 or progressing forward or onwards. Right? So that's what hypertension essentially is. Now there's two types of hypertension, which is essential or primary, meaning that there's no other underlying cause or the cause of hypertension, just innately happens. But then there's secondary, where there's some other underlying illness that is basically triggering or causing this, awkward or abnormal elevations in pressures. Right.
So what are things that can cause abnormal, the secondary one?
How I normally explain it for persons to understand, we group them. So there's like modifiable causes, non-modifiable causes. Modifiable meaning things that you could have changed to prevent you from being diagnosed with hypertension, or things that, really and truly, you just could have done better with. But non-modifiable are things that you really just can't do anything about, right?
Usually, when it comes down to computers, they have what you call HDD, which is hard disk drives. Now, hard drives, the hard disk drive, they have moving parts in it. Now, over time, moving it around in your bag and stuff, when the bag bounces, it is that these parts tend to wear over time. So with that, you find that the computer tends to slow down over time. So what we do now with those computers to bring back new life to them is that we change from the hard disk drive, which is the movable part one, to what we call solid state drives. Now, the solid state drive is, in layman terms, basically a big flash drive, and it stores information and it gives it back really quickly, right? And it usually optimizes performance as well with boot up speeds. The lagging and the scratching, it's more silent, right? You don't have that little scratching sound, that little knocking sound that you're always hearing whenever you pour on the computer, as well as memory. Now, with advancement in technology, what is happening is that back then, 512, you know, them 512 could run like a Windows 98 PC.
Yeah.
Now we have Windows 11, like what's on this laptop here right now. We need at least 4 gigs.
At least?
RAMs. At least 4 gigs.
Least,
for
yeah.
Windows 7 is 2 gigs, I believe. And possibly the same for Windows 10.
Right.
So these are what we call memory modules, right? And depending on the form factor of the board, which is the physical specifications of the board, right? It is that we can upgrade the memory from 1 gigabyte to 2 gigabytes. So you have an old computer at your house, not using it anymore.
Right.
What we can do is we can put some more memory in it, move it from 4 to 8, 8 to 16,
Right.
and then that now in turn would give you a speed boost as well as with the solid state. What it allows you to do now is get that old computer and use it more effectively and efficiently.
So somebody trying to sell you a new machine, sometimes you don't really need a new machine. Sometimes you just need to tune the machine, so to
Optimize
speak.
the one that you have.
Exactly. Because, well, not bashing computer sale.
No,
but
of course.
in the time that we're in now, right? It's an age of technology, right? So having a computer that you can use, right, is it's good.
You know, firstly, you look on the objective. The objective is to make sure that when Jamaicans are working, they're getting reasonable pay. We're trying to ensure that there's no inequity and that persons are not abused.
Right.
And the reality is that most employers are paying way above the minimum wage, but you do have the few who will take too much advantage. So you have to have a legal framework that ensures that there's a baseline that respects the realities of what's taking place in Jamaica.
And as a price floor then,
Exactly.
how do you ensure that that price floor is reflective of the economic realities and know when to, that 15,000 is where we need to move it now?
Well, firstly, you look on what you know, the factors are telling you the employers can afford. Because even if you raise the minimum wage to 40,000, if people can't afford it, it would be impractical.
Right.
So you have to look on the considerations of what is affordable for both the employer and the employee. What will allow this person to be able to live, considering inflation, considering the other costs in the country, and what is a respectable wage based on our current circumstances. And of course, as Jamaica seeks to develop, you want to ensure that all Jamaicans are at least at this level. No one is left behind. And that's really the goal of the minimum wage. It is not to be seen as the wage for all sectors. And that's when you look on social media.
Almost like it's a prescriptive.
People will say,
No,
but that's too little. The fact is, this is the baseline. And we encourage employers and applaud those employers who are paying above the minimum wage.
Hi, I'm Wayne.
And I'm Tami.
And we are the Mitchells. You can watch Meet the Mitchells right here on CVMTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yes, you guys don't want to miss it. We will be having new episodes every week, so definitely follow along with our family.
Meet the Mitchell family.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
You're the sugar to my tea. Meet the Mitchell family. What's your story? What's your sign? You're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our way. We come alive.
While this year we would have hosted this sort of event for the second time,
Yes.
every year we actually seek to support any sort of initiative that is focused on celebrating Girls in ICT Day. And it's important because we recognize that while women are users of technology, we consume the technology, we go online to shop, we do all of these different things, in many cases, we are not necessarily the power brokers in that space.
Yes.
We are not, for the most part, the ones that are creating these kinds of technology. Far few women are actually studying information and communication technology and computer science.
Right.
And then when it gets to the point of doing things like research and holding positions of leadership within the field, you find that the numbers continue to dwindle. And so one of the things that we are seeking to do is to have girls understand that there is a space for them within the field, that they can make valuable contributions there, and to show them that pathway so that they can make those kinds of contributions. Watching
the video, what jumps out at me is the excitement on the faces of these girls. Like when you're there in the space, just as a woman, but as Flo, like, what is that like to see that?
It was inspiring. I will say that we had over 300 young ladies, third formers from schools across the country that converged within this space. And we found that they were so excited about the event because there were exhibitions that were there where companies, including the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance, and so many other entities, universities and so on, were showcasing the ways that they are using information and communication technology in a very practical way. They were also able to hear from a lot of power brokers in the space. We had Ayanna Samuels, who's an aerospace engineer, and she delivered our keynote. And then Jada Wright, who is that 14-year-old who we know is enrolled at the University of Technology, pursuing her undergraduate degree in computer science, she also addressed the young ladies. And so there were so many different elements of ICT that were within the space that the young ladies were just excited, they were happy, they were eager to learn. A lot of them initially were a little bit, scared of the coding challenge, but Cavell beautifully, brought them through it. And a lot of them, I think, after that experience and gaining a better understanding of ICT, if they weren't thinking about careers in that field, now it's definitely at the top of their minds.
So we need to we're going on a trip. We need to choose the right luggage. So here, I know all of us are seeing people going through the airports with the hard shell cases, and then we have the soft shell cases. But do we know why we choose either one? So we're going to Tulum, right? So for safety, these are ideal because then they don't have easy access pockets. So once you close it and you have your locks in place, nobody can get access to it. It's more stylish. If you care about the aesthetics, you're going to be on Instagram or you want to kind of have the different colors and the styles. Personally, and then things don't get as crushed because, everything is compact in the hard shell. For the soft shell, you're going and you need to have a little lip gloss or your passport and you don't have a backpack. You want easy access to different things. You might have a layover, you want some underwear, so you can have easy access to some of the things in your carry-on. The only downfall with this is that things do get crushed. They can move around, it's softer. So you decide to Tulum which one you want to go with as you process in your mind.
Maybe if you're going, if you're going, if you're going to Brooklyn and you have the Escovitch fish and the breadfruit, don't put it in the south.
Don't want it squished up and soft. And the bread, in Bobby. Right.
So pick the right luggage.
Pick the right luggage. So that's where we're going to start there. Right. So next up, we need to know how to hold everything in it. So we're talking about stuffing everything down. There's a simpler way. I've like talking about my folding techniques that I think are genius, but we're not going to fold, we're going to roll. So let's grab some pants and let's pretend we each have one here. And instead of folding, you find that it really does take up less space when you roll. And what happens when you roll too, guys? You can stick a little... Right, but no, Jenny, what is that? The fold or the roll?
That feels like a fold.
No, just fold it up.
So
what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this?
It ends up taking up space. And then if you want to roll a little, you have your little lotions or other things, there's a trick. I like to put them in a little bag. And you do this and you hide it. We're not hiding anything from customs,
No.
But we're just right. And we just go ahead and roll. So you end up, so we can stack. So you have yours and we stack. Yeah, you hold yours TK. And we just, and it, you know?
And you just...
And you squish them together.
Right.
And
so
this is now
look how
almost
neat
a space
exactly.
of what we had before.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, it was one fold. There we go. We're getting it. We're getting it. You guys are great travel partners.
All right.
And then my third tip is I like to have my little, you know, with the going through the process now, you have to have, what, 2 ounces, I think? 3 ounces max.
3.4.
3.4. Okay, I'm happy that we know. So I like to have a see-through bag, so nothing incriminating. I see exactly what they get as soon as I get through the gate. And then I have everything mini. So I have mini perfume. So this is my Versace perfume. I get a mini pack. They sell them on Amazon so that you can travel with it. So you're coming off the plane, you're meeting your boyfriend on the other end. You do a quick little, usually I just squirt from the little, what do you call it, the duty-free straps. But I'm getting a little bit more tasteful because I'm on TV now, so I have my own.
Okay.
Yeah. It isn't as established as, say, the dancehall community. But, I mean, we're the Ministry of Culture, and there are many forms of expressions that we try to develop. But the jazz community in recent years, especially post-COVID, has really thrived. You have a lot of venues now that cater to jazz audiences, and musicians are slowly making the kind of livelihood that they expected to prior to COVID. And now that the ministry has become involved in Jazz Day, it affords them another opportunity to hone and display their talent and craft.
Speaking with the guys earlier this morning, it was important, you know, they mentioned the support that the ministry is giving to this initiative.
Right.
And it's so important for, as government, to establish, you know, not just policies and programs, but actually initiatives like this and that kind of a support. What other initiatives would you say the ministry is looking from the, you know, a Creative Council perspective to get involved in?
Well, it all starts with our minister, of course, Minister Grange, whose mandate really is to develop as much as possible all the forms of creative expressions. One of the things that we're working on at the ministry, for argument's sake, is creating this framework within which all the creative and cultural industry and its expressions can thrive. So we're actually in the process now of not just doing our cultural policy, our new cultural policy, as you mentioned, but also creating draft legislation on the entertainment, cultural, and creative industries, an act that allows for incentives and so on, how creatives can relate to the government. That kind of process is part of her toolkit to develop the sector. So even jazz musicians who may feel neglected in the past, there are now going to be opportunities for them to develop and to bring in their equipment tax-free and for funds for them to access to purchase things and this kind of thing.
Cooking with love, crazy.
And the cook at home. Wow. Cooking with love. What do you know about that?
Hi, I'm Juliet Holness, wife of the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and you're here with me on Cooking with Love.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVMTV.
Thanks for staying with us. Time flies when good things are happening, but you know what time it is. It is time for our final thoughts, and I will ask our guest, Mr. Diamond, your final thoughts.
Well, I would definitely say that world peace, harmony, that we all dream of. Well, I don't want to say dream, but we would want, we desire that It is very achievable, may not be in the near future, but definitely we are doing the things now that will bring us to that. And we do respect each other's individual beliefs at times, but we have to make sure that those who we put in power have those type of ideals as well, because most of these conflicts are politically driven.
Okay, Callie?
Yeah, I appreciate your aspirational approach to this conversation. I do believe that on this side of reality, I don't think you can achieve world peace. I believe that God will come in on a cloud, riding on a cloud one day, and save us all. And this is when his big moment will happen, because we cannot achieve it outside of our Lord and Savior and God and all of that. So, but in my small way and my small world, I will work on peace in my sphere, in my environment, with my family and friends, and you know, cater to peace in that way. Right, yeah.
Riding on a cloud, though, okay.
Riding on a cloud. You don't know that song?
It's a song. It's actually a song.
Exactly.
So I definitely, I want to live in a world where there is world peace, where we do find better ways to resolve our conflicts, where we are not necessarily, where we're not living like other people, but we're learning to live within our own spaces and our own spheres, and just understanding, giving more understanding and more love. You know, just throwing love into the world and into situations, because I do believe that, you know, we won't always agree and get along, and that's what makes us who we are. It's what makes us individuals, and it's what makes us absolutely amazing. So I want to live in a world where there is world peace. So that said, yes, I do believe that it is possible.
Let's sing "Let There Be Peace on Earth." You guys know that?
We're gonna sing it together.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna sing it together. But guess what? Unfortunately, that's a wrap for the roundtable today. Special thanks to our guest, Michael Diamond, for hanging with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And as you go forward into the world, remember, be good and be on purpose.
In the southwest, north and east, world peace is what we're fighting for. World peace, we want the violence cease. Down there in Nigeria, down there in South Africa, Sudan and